right, it's Tuesday, the 10th of October, 2023. Welcome to Gambakwe Media. I would like to apologize for coming in a little bit late than scheduled. But this evening we have got I've got a short presentation on what has been unfolding in Zimbabwe in the past 24 to 36 hours. The recalling of the CCC MPs. So I will put right here on the screen the letters that have emanated from the Speaker of Parliament's office, actually announcing vacancies in the 15 constituencies as per the bogus letter written by one Sengezo Shabangu. So tonight's discussion is actually based on these letters. It is based on analyzing what exactly is happening. Basically, this is a joke, if one could say it. It is showing that ZANU PF will do anything and everything to make sure that they get power, because there is no doubt that there are two issues that are at stake. Number one, this is meant to punish the CCC for their boycott, for their constitutional boycott that they staged when President Mnangagwa opened the 10th Parliament of Zimbabwe. It is the CCC's constitutional right, because demonstrating or boycotting is another way of expressing oneself. And like I always say, it is President Mnangagwa who said, when he established this so-called Second Republic, he said, there is an unfolding new democracy. He said, the voice of the people is the voice of God. I don't know which other voice he expected to get, but this is the voice of the people. The people voted in the 23rd of August election, even against spirited rigging that we saw. We saw people in the urban areas being suppressed. Ballot box did not come to the ballot to the polling stations on time. We saw the voters' roll was not availed on time for people to analyze or to know where they are supposed to vote. We saw the delimitation report, which up till the election day was a contentious, because the government did not, or even ZEC did not release the census report on which it was supposed to be based. I mean, there were a lot of irregularities in that report. Not only that, we saw in the media that the media was used to demonize the alternative all the way. Right? We saw the opposition rallies, the CCC rallies were banned, or there was always violence meted against them. And all this came in the SIOM report, the SADC Observer Mission report, exposed all of these. But these are things that we knew even before the election itself. And now, even after the alternative, after the CCC got that sizable number of MPs and councillors, still ZANU PF is trying to destroy that. It's trying to destabilize them. The point that I want to discuss today is, what is the end game of ZANU PF? Because most definitely this is a ZANU PF ploy. This is a ZANU PF strategy. We saw it last year when they destroyed the MDC alliance. However, I also have unsubstantiated and unauthenticated messages that I got. One of those messages is that where that I got is that the same Sengezo Chabangu has gone on to write another letter recalling Advocate Nelson Chamisa. What madness! What utter madness! And I'm told in that communication that he is intending, or he has announced that he will replace Advocate Nelson Chamisa by Tendai Biti. And also in that message, it says that Sengezo Shabangu has asked President Mnangagwa to release Job Seeker from prison, and that on the basis that he has appointed him to be the vice president to Biti. Again, if that is anything true, but like I said, at this stage, this is not authenticated, but this is the same way I receive these messages. And if that is true, then it is said that amongst us, we always have regime enablers. Because there is no doubt that what we are seeing is authoritarian consolidation by ZANU PF. Like I said in the beginning, that besides trying to punish the CCC for boycotting Parliament, for boycotting the opening of the 10th Parliament by President Mnangagwa, there is definitely a major endgame, because they didn't expect that the CCC was going to scuttle their two-thirds majority, so-called two-thirds majority, and now they cannot amend the constitution. And we know they would want to amend the constitution so that they can enable President Mnangagwa to run for a third term or to be a life president. This has always been ZANU PF's principle, ZANU PF's philosophy. And now they're going to try and do it at all costs. But what is amazing is that the Speaker of Parliament, even after getting communication from Advocate Nelson Chamisa that Sengezo Shabangu is not a member of the CCC, he goes ahead to announce vacancies in Parliament. I'll just put on screen one of the letters, the first letter that Advocate Nelson Chamisa wrote. This letter he wrote to Advocate Nelson Chamisa, to Advocate Mudenda on the 11th of September, parliamentary correspondence regarding Citizens Coalition for Change members in Parliament. Right. So he says, pursuant to the notification of names of elected members of Parliament through the Government Gazette General Notice, he mentions the notice of 2023 and further invitation of the said elected members of Parliament in terms of Government Gazette General Notice 1406A of 2023 to make and subscribe to the oath of a member of Parliament. This letter seeks to notify you that, number one, any correspondence regarding any CCC member of Parliament listed in the said general notice is to be directed to this office, meaning the President's office. Number two, any communication or notification regarding any CCC member of Parliament listed in the said general notice to Parliament shall come from this office. Number three, for the avoidance of any doubt, no other person is authorized to correspond or communicate with Parliament concerning CCC members in Parliament. And number four, for ease of reference, the list of CCC members of the National House of Assembly is attached hereto and marked as Annexure A, whereas the list of CCC senators is attached hereto and marked as Annexure B. I tries to find this in order. So this is a letter that Advocate Nelson Chamisa wrote and was received on the 11th of September by the Speaker of Parliament. Now, for him to disregard this letter coming from the CCC and respecting a letter from an unknown and bogus character like Sebezo Shabangu, it boggles the mind. ZANU PF is literally trampling on the rule of law in Zimbabwe. In fact, they have taken us to a pariah state. We are a laughing stock not only in the region, but in the whole world. How can we disregard the real and normal way of doing politics and descend to such a way of doing politics in which a person from the street can just write a letter and destabilize a whole system of government? Parliament is part of government. And Advocate Mudenda, as an experienced lawyer himself, as experienced advocate, for him to do this, it can only show one thing, that ZANU PF, or it confirms one thing, that ZANU PF weaponizes the law. It weaponizes the law to deal with its opponents. In fact, another thing that it shows is that ZANU PF's principle or philosophy of a one-party state is still well and alive, and they are pursuing it. They cannot countenance opposition, and they cannot countenance any unfolding democracy, such as we are seeing in Zimbabwe. Now, it is now incumbent upon the SADC, because I am sure SADC is following all this, that they have to now deal with this issue once and for all. There is no doubt also that ZANU PF is doing this as a sideshow, as a politics of disruption, because they know that the SADC summit is coming and is coming hard on them. And this is politics of disruption, counterintelligence, to bring disillusionment amongst the alternative, the opposition, to try and destroy it. But it is incumbent upon the SADC to really follow up on Zimbabwe and make sure that they intervene as per the recommendations of the SADC Observer Mission report. And we now know that this extraordinary summit is coming this October. And I am sure ZANU PF knows it very well. And this is exactly how they behave. This is how they operate. This is the operation of ZANU PF. So I just want to end today by saying what ZANU PF is doing confirms that ZANU PF are not interested in real democracy. ZANU PF are not interested in building this nation in a democratic manner. All they want is a one-party state in this country. All they want is a docile opposition, and an opposition that will not really question them. First and foremost, they are not willing to account for all their actions, particularly the rigging of this election. They are not willing to account for that. So all this that we are seeing, it is obviously countering what is coming for them. So I don't intend this broadcast to be long. We will watch things as they unfold, and we will bring you breaking news as they happen. But as for now, let's look at what is happening, and I'll be back with you tomorrow to look at the developing